I think not. Let me show you what I got. Yeah. This beat is so hot. Yeah. Hey yo, who made it? I think God. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh shit, man. Oh my God. Yeah. Let me show you what I got. Yeah. This beat is so hot. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Is that bullshit? I think not. Yeah. Let me show you what I got. Yeah. This beat is so hot. Yeah. Hey yo, who made it? I think God. Yeah. Oh my.
Yo! Let me turn this down real quick. So I'm late. I'm still trying to figure out the starting time. I'm so behind. Anyways, welcome back. Did you guys miss me? This is the 5FIRacing.com channel. This is 5, the number 5, FIRacing.com. I am doing so many things behind the scenes right now at the same time. let's breathe on through this. Yeah, if you'd like to join us on Discord, go ahead and hit Discord. Follow us on Twitch. You're probably watching right now, or on YouTube. You can subscribe there and leave comments or something. Instagram, please go like images, check them out. We're working hard on it. And Reddit. Anyway, SimGrid, we go into it. If you would like to join us for season 6, click on this right now. You hit register. We'll just pretend like we're gonna do it. You select the class. You're gonna either go into intermediate or rookie, so gold or silver. I am in gold rank, so hit that. Select your car. Select the team if you're in one. Select all the updates that you want, and then agree and register. I am not going to do that though, because I am streaming. Regardless, though, some of the rules that we care about are just yellow flags, really. If there's a yellow flag out, obey it. Don't be dumb. Don't get a penalty, which is the next option right here. Penalty and continuation. If you disconnect or you DC or something happens where you just cannot serve a penalty, everything will carry over to the next round. So yeah. Yo, what's up? I don't even know if I should pronounce your Twitch name or what, but what's up, John? How's it going? Code of conduct. Be respectful, you know. Dive bomb with class. Don't dive bomb out of annoyance. Incident reporting. If you get involved in a dive bomb incident, report it. Go ahead if you feel like it, and someone will review it. Standings. We have Albert in first after with 47 points. And Daniel Hirsch is in second with 34.5. Joshua Worley, third, 34 points. We're just gonna go to the top 5. Kyle Hirsch, fourth place, 31.5 points, and Zach Manriquez. Well, there's not many. We'll go down to Zach, fifth place, 28.5. Victor Sabo, sixth place, 25.5. Kyle Bush, 7th place, 21. And Sam Staples, he has 0 points. He did not start. And he's in the 4th? Interesting. Regardless, this is for the gold split. If we switch over to the silvers, we have a lot more. And this we will cap out to, we'll say the top 10, I guess. Chris Unfair, he's leading first place, P1, 46 points. Alexander Sabo, he's at 34.5 points. Missing the race because you're back home this weekend? This week, I mean? Back home, like here in Cali, or back home, like we talking Texas? We need these answers, John. Why aren't you racing? And you're in 11th place, bruh. You're gonna drop that position. Alan, oh, he's on vacation. I was about to say Alan's gonna overtake you, but nah, Brad is gonna overtake you now. Are you gonna let that happen? Alexander Sabo, second place, 34.5. Jeff Kelly, third place, 34 points. Albert G, I still don't know how to pronounce his last name. Gania? Albert Gania, I'm gonna assume. 29 points, 4th place. Anthony Muno, 5th place, 24.5. Craig Landry, 6th place, 20.5. Will Stewart, our founder, 7th place, 20 points. Justin Fry, 8th place, 18 points. Jacob Meyer, 9th place, 18 points as well. They are tied. Kevin Barfield, every time I see his name, I want to say Garfield. So if I say Garfield, I'm so sorry, Kevin. But Kevin Barfield is in 10th place with 17 points. And we'll go one more. Jonathan Kelly, you are in 11th place 16 points. You are very, very close to fighting for getting into the top 10. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. If you give me a moment, you will be switching to the race recap. Race start. It was fairly clean for the first one. No major incidents. As you see, Albert is leading in the front. John over here on Twitch says he had a rough week for Bathurst, but he'll be coming for blood when he comes back. We will showcase what happened to you, John. Don't you worry. Sit tight, good sir. Regardless, as you'll see here, Albert is pretty much trying to pull away from the pack. He's doing a decent job in doing so. Kyle Hirsch, though, not allowing or not wanting to let that happen. As I am speaking at the same time, I am doing behind the scenes things that I shouldn't be doing. Ugh. There was one incident that I will go over though, and that is in the same lap. I am still trying to remember car names and liveries, so... Who is this? This is a mystery driver to me right now. Why am I blanking out? Regardless, this driver had a little bit of an incident that we will be showcasing. Right there, he kind of slammed hard into the wall. Not great, but still able to manage and keep going on. And right here is where it starts. He brakes very late, trying to slow down the car, upsets the balance of the car really badly. And Bathurst walls have a damage multiplier. And he pretty much felt that damage multiplier right there. Luckily though, he managed to stop in a decent location, allowed everybody to pass by, and continued on his way. He was getting his bearings there, as you see. He moving left and right. His car did end up getting damaged. He ended up going to the pits. So, not a great start. I want to say this is Kevin Barfield, but don't quote me on this. This might be someone else. Regardless, lap 3, we had an overtake between Jonathan Kelly and Anthony Muno, who could have been racing today and having some more, getting some more points and stuff, but you know, he's gonna come back for blood, he says, and I want to see it. Regardless, you see here, John overtakes Muno. Very nicely done. Unfortunately, though, he goes a lot wide, just pretty much blows the entire corner, and this allows... That was Kevin Barfield. So who was the other driver that I pointed out? I am not too sure. Well, lap 3, Jonathan blew the corner and allowed those two drivers to go, Anthony Muno and Kevin Barfield. Lap 4, Kevin Barfield had a decent run using the BMW, just sheer oomph and power to just blow by Anthony Muno like if he was standing still, like the drag race down the start of the mountain. Lap 5, Jonathan Kelly wants a do-over against Anthony Muno. He is out for blood, and at least in this lap, in this race, he wants this position, and he gets it. He makes the overtake happen. Anthony Muno trying as hard as he might to stay as close as possible, not letting him get the position so easily. This time, though, Jonathan Kelly manages to not blow the corner, successfully secures the position. So in this lap, you had Jeff Kelly and Will Stewart, who were both fighting pretty hard the whole way up the mountain. And it was quite a sight to see, especially during the replay. To see there, they are pretty close. They're not giving an inch. Jeff Kelly is applying a decent amount of pressure to Will. Unfortunately, though, Will right here couldn't get the car stopped just in time. Throws the car out, bumps the wall just a tad bit, and oh my god, who was that blue car? I'm blanking out on names. Well, that car ends up, I believe that was Greg Landry, ends up clipping him just a little bit, and then he just ends up getting hit, just being in the wrong place, wrong time. Ends up teleporting to the pits. Unfortunate for Will Stewart. Don't like to see these things happen. I believe this was also... Oh, this was the very next lap. This is lap 7. I do believe this is Greg Landry. Correct me if I'm wrong. But he ends up having a little bit of a drift, an oversteer issue incident going up the mountain. Ends up slamming into the wall. Continues going up the mountain. And eventually going down. But that one small tap did bruise his racing confidence for this lap, as you'll see the driver right behind him, who I do not remember. I'm so bad with names right now. He just approached them like extremely quick. So if you do recall, this is Kyle Hirsch. He was very close, or decently close to Albert, and he has an incident at the crest of the mountain, a pretty big incident actually. Ends up slamming the wall, has a decent amount of damage. You'll see the track marshal there warning everybody with the yellow flag. 4 drivers pass on through, and this is where he pretty much gets the go ahead to whip around and get on through. Jeff Kelly makes it 5 drivers go on through. A real big confidence blow, or just a real huge mistake for Kyle Hirsch. Pretty much cost him P2 in race 1. That was a huge crash, unfortunate crash. Don't quote me, but I see BMW and I think Jacob Meyer, but I could be wrong. Regardless, this individual ends up... That's Jacob Meyer who just passed. Who is this? Regardless, he ends up slamming into the wall. The recording software glitched out a little bit, and he ended up going to the pits. Lap 11, Zach Manriquez and Alexander Sabo. Alexander Sabo and Zach, I do believe, had a little bit of a contact there. If not, Alexander Sabo just had a huge amount of oversteer there. Just lost the car, slammed it to the wall. This allowed Zach to get the position, go on by. Lap 12. That is not Kevin Barfield, but this is someone else. Not exactly sure, but he was trying to pass an individual there who was attempting to slow down and give him the space, but just a series of unfortunate events happened, and he ended up slamming into the wall right before the crest of the mountain, right before Skyline. Took a quite a decent amount of damage because of that. And lap 15, your race finisher, ladies and gentlemen, Albert Tranquilli. Most likely, I will have to show you guys a race 2 later, because race 1 is about to start, or the 60-minute race is about to start. Let's see if we can speed on through race recap 2. So race 2 pretty much looks identical to race 1. Let's believe. Everyone being nice and safe, which is what we love to see in lap 1, especially in Bathurst. You do not want to crash out so early into the race, because you'll just ruin your race. That's pretty much it. In Bathurst, the person who crashes the least and puts the most consistent fast laps is usually the winner. You see Chris had a little bit of a slip up there. We managed to recover. We will show one fun little tidbit here from the POV of Chris Unfair. Everyone over here, for whatever reason, they were just bumping into the wall. As you'll see there, Kyle Busch bumps into the wall. Look over to your left, and you see Zach Manriquez. Guess what he does? He bumps into the wall right there. Just wall rides that thing. Hell yeah. Will Stewart has a little bit of an issue there. Almost messes up. Right behind him, Kyle Busch bumps into the wall again. Man, everyone's loving these walls. Unfortunately, though, the cars do not like the walls. Lap 2, we had Victor Sabo and Kevin Barfield. That's what it was. Victor Sabo. Regardless, Kevin Barfield managed to overtake Victor Sabo, and Victor, I'm assuming, just lost his sense of what's the word I'm looking for? His area of choice. He was trying to follow Kevin Barfield, but lost control a little bit of that. Here we had Alan Arvalo having a big slip up in Hell Corner, turn 1, and this allows Jacob Meyer to overtake Alan Arvalo. Very nicely done by Jacob Meyer, seizing the opportunity, getting right by him. Alan, though, not liking that one bit. He's getting very, very close, staying very, very close to Jacob Meyer, not letting him get away. Top 5, Greg Landry and Anthony Muno. We have Greg in behind. He's approaching Anthony Muno really fast. As you'll see there, Anthony Muno has a little bit of an issue, blows that corner, not enough to hit the wall and warrant repairs, but nonetheless, this allows Greg Landry to take that position pretty decently. And right behind him, right in front of him now, Alan Arvalo took that spot. So in that same corner, lap 6, we had Jeff Kelly and Chris Unfair both go off-road. Chris Unfair, though, going slightly less off-road, seizing that opportunity to take the inside of Hell Corner, turn 1 in Bathurst, and pretty much gets the position from Jeff Kelly, who at this point was defending pretty hard, not letting Chris Unfair get by. Lap 6, we had Zach Manriquez on the inside of Justin Fry. That's who that driver wasn't be in previous sessions. I'm learning these names as we go. Or drivers, matching drivers, 2 cars. Zach's livery should hopefully be fixed on my end. We could only hope. He's not normally driving a carbon fiber car, but nonetheless, pretty cool Porsche and very nice overtake by him. Over here, we had Jacob Meyer going wide just a tad bit. Victor Sabo seizing the opportunity to pretty much blow by Jacob Meyer, and the recording software was glitching out just a tad bit, as you'll see there. Try to ignore that as best as possible. Good job by Victor Sabo, and unfortunate for Jacob Meyer to blow the corners labeled the chase. Alan Arvalo, he had a slight incident, a slight issue going down the mountain, as you'll see. Ends up hitting the wall aggressively hard. And just parked it in a not so great area. At least he's off the apex, which is very, very nice. Allows 2 cars to pass by. Has a substantial amount of aero damage. If you take a look at his rear wing, it's no longer straight. It's quite bent. Very unfortunate for Alan Arvalo for that to happen to him, especially since I want to race this guy. We were, before he had his wheel issue, we were pretty much very close or nearly identical in lap times, and it was always fun battling this dude. One day, one day. Lap 8. Zach Manriquez and Anthony Munoz. And as you'll see there, Anthony just goes way too wide, wall rides, allows Zach to pretty much just get the position outright. Like no hard fought, no hard fighting in that exchange. Lap 9, Jeff Kelly and Chris Unfair. Jeff wants to reclaim the position, tries to go for it on the inside of turn 20 right here, starting the chase, but ends up hitting those curbs aggressively, backs off. Chris Unfair doing his best to keep that position and defending very well. Very nice move from Chris to hold that position. Very good attempt by Jeff Kelly. Zach Manriquez and Jacob Meyer. In lap 11, you'll see Zach doing his best to get all that slipstream. And then tries to get by Jacob Meyer. Jacob Meyer, though, not giving him a hard time with... Even though he has a... Well, they both have a bit of damage. That Beamer just pulls extremely hard. Porsche almost not completing that overtake. Very good move, though, securing that position. Kevin Barfield passes Alexander Sabo, or at least attempts to, as you'll see here. Completes it right before turn 2, the quarry. And they're pretty much going side by side, going up into the mountain. And eventually, just because he was on the outside, he ended up slowing down just a tad bit due to being side by side and next to each other. Alexander Sabo managed to hold on to the position. Kevin Barfield stayed behind. And lap 15, your race finisher again, ladies and gentlemen, just dominating Bathurst. The literal shark, I guess you can say, the Max Verstappen, the fast guy, the Sonic the Hedgehog, the whatever you want. Insert fast driver, fast person, fast thing here. Albert Tranchisi doing some victory donuts there. As we will end this race recap and give me a minute to see what our drivers are doing. How much time is remaining? There's 2 minutes left in quali, ladies and gentlemen. We will be checking them out. We're watching Albert. Oh, it was Albert Guinea, Albert G. Isn't that... Why did I see BMW? And that's actually a Lexus. I need new glasses. Let's get up our personal best out on the field, see what's going on, who's out on the field. Jeff Kelly has a yellow flag under his name. We're gonna ignore that. It's qualifying. Drivers are gonna make mistakes, get messy, go on off-roading adventures. So far though, we do have a sizable grid of 17 drivers. We'd love to see it. Chris Unfair out on the pits. I mean, out on the field. Currently in P11. Not a bad position to be starting in. Going to be lowering his personal best by a good margin. A sizable margin. Manages to snag and jump all the way up to P7. Very, very nicely done, Chris. Who is in front though? That is a... Who is that? Although checking out Chris Unfair's POV, I will figure out who that mystery driver is. It can't be Zach. Kyle Hirsch. It's not Kyle Hirsch. Joshua Worley is in the Beamer and in the pits. Brad Tarno, are you my mystery driver? Brad Tarno is my mystery driver. And he's in the McLaren. I'm having the world's biggest brain fart. And I very, very deeply want to investigate. Wasn't he in a different car for Bathurst? Did he just change up vehicles? Or am I just tripping and he was always in the McLaren? Anyways, regardless, he's having an amazing lap. He's going to be lowering his personal best by a good margin. He's going to jump to P12. He improved his lap time by a second and a half, and the overall strength of the grid, as you'll see on the screen, is very, very strong. We have Albert in first, Daniel in second, Will, Worley, Hirsch, Kyle Hirsch, Enrique's Unfair. We'll explore and check out the grid as they eventually line up. In the meantime, though, might as well shoot some quick facts over the Imola. We got history of the circuit and Founders League history at Imola. I guess it's worth since you are currently watching the 5f5racing.com channel, we will go over the Founders League history. So the league has held 4 previous races at Imola, a total amount of 1,180 race laps between 28 different drivers has been ran. The most career starts, we have a tie for 3 career starts between Brad Tarno, Kyle Busch, and Zach Manriquez. Race winners in order, we had Kyle Busch winning again, Kyle Busch winning once again, pretty much looking like he dominates Imola. Will he do that today? It'll be interesting to see. And our last winner is Daniel Hirsch, who won in the rain last season, season 5. Our drivers are currently on grid. We will be rotating to them very, very soon. We'll just keep the music going while we're here. So, he won. The one, the only, Albert Tranchisi. Visual Anthony, good luck, have fun, most definitely. Good luck and have fun to all our drivers today in the hot and sticky Imola. I heard it was gonna be a hot one out there today. Albert in P1. Daniel Hirsch, new livery, I believe. New car? I don't know. Daniel Hirsch, P2. Will Seward doing a great job. P3. Joshua Worley. P4. Kyle Hirsch. P5. Zach Manriquez, here is your livery. Let's go. P6. Chris Unfair. P7. Albert G. Gania. I'm gonna assume that's how you pronounce it. P8. Jeff Kelly. I do not know why the camera doesn't appreciate your vehicle. That is Jeff Kelly. P9. Alexander Sabo. P10. Greg Landry. Got your livery working. P11. Brad Tarno. P12. Anthony Muno. P13. Anthony Lombardo. A new driver on the grid. Love to see it. P14. Victor Sabo. P15. Jacob Meyer. P16. And Justin Fry. P17. We will be going to the grid. The race is about to start. We're turning off the audio. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. And we are off. Albert not having the greatest of stars, surprisingly. Daniel Hirsch gets the jump on him into turn 1. Nonetheless, he does an amazing job defending that position. We're going to be jumping through the camera, checking out if any of our drivers. Joshua Worley goes a tad bit on the outside. Doesn't appear that too much as anything else is happening besides Albert and Daniel going at it decently hard. Daniel getting the inside, getting bumped by Albert, who is fighting hard not to let Daniel in. Will Stewart having a little bit of an issue. Where is he? There, he's in the pits. Unfortunate. A bunch of our drivers are in the pits. Turn 1. Alright, lap 1 incidents. That sucks for Will. He started off in a very good spot and just ended up having a big incident for him to teleport. Regardless though, Albert jumping that curb. Oh, how did he manage to keep control is beyond me. So many drivers are so close to each other, it's hard to keep track of who to actually follow. Albert Gania is very, very close to Jeff Kelly, trying to take that P6 spot from him. They're hard on the brakes into the second to final corner. Chris Unfair right behind Alexander Sabo, pretty much doing the exact same thing. And Brad Parno doing the exact same thing. And Greg Landry is trying to get an overtake on Brad. Will the Ferrari have enough oomph to get by the McLaren? And he does have the inside for turn 1, has the inside for turn 2. Brad not giving that position up, both hard on the brakes into turn 2. Brad forced to stay right behind him. Good move by Greg Landry to secure that spot, to secure P10. Daniel Hirsch still defending against Albert, and actually creating a bit of distance. I do not want to enable or activate the streamer's curse, because you know the streamer's curse is real, and once I lock onto a car or say something bad tends to happen, which is not the greatest. Alexander Sabo is getting very, very close to Chris Unfair. Potentially wanting to get on the inside, decides against it, especially in these chicanes. One slight mistake and not only will you lose a bunch of positions, it'll be a costly mistake. Potentially a costly mistake where vehicle damage can get involved. A bunch of our drivers are starting to spread apart, but not Albert though. Albert is hot on Daniel's trail, Daniel Hirsch's trail. Less than half a second right behind him into turn 2 they go. Both these both these drivers doing the absolute best to not let the pressure get on them. Albert pushing as hard as he can to try to force a mistake on Daniel. Daniel trying his best to ignore and potentially defend against Albert Tranchisi. The other Albert Guinea, is making moves happen on Jeff Kelly, who's on the outside. Jeff has the inside into turn 7. They're still side by side. Jeff will have the inside for. Oh, he decided against it, against the fast left-handers. Albert Guinea does have what appears that had to be a track warning, at least minimum. Regardless, though, good move on sticking his head and making the play happen, forcing Jeff to stay behind, but he's not giving an inch though. He is less than half a second behind him, trying to force a mistake on Albert, as the other Albert has a white flag for some unknown reason. He is a little bit slower. He does still currently have had the fastest lap of the race, now currently owned by Daniel Hirsch at a 142.547. Albert slightly up on that time. He's at 42.772. So you will check out Brad Tarno, who's trying to make moves happen on Greg Landry. So far, he's there. Well, there's a train from Jeff Kelly on. Jeff Kelly behind him. Albert Guinea separating, creating a bit of a separation on that. And trying to get away from Jeff Kelly and the rest of the group. Trying not to get involved into any incidents, any of that nonsense. Will Stewart's teammate though is in P5. He ended up taking his position from him, so nice to see that he's at least on top. Will Stewart's still currently in the pits. I'm assuming he's retiring for this race, unless he has a crazy amount of damage. Here's Will still in the pits as we jumps back into his teammate. Who is not doing too bad for himself. He's sitting at a cool P5 at a 143.947. We love to see it. Brad Tarno trying to make moves happen. Greg Landry trying to deny moves from happening as he gets bumped from behind by Brad Tarno. Not letting that face him at the slightest as Greg maintains the utmost control. Showing how it's supposed to be done here at 5FIRacing.com. We love to see this kind of driving. Fighting hard as Brad has a tiny little bit of a mistake there. Ends up touching the dirt, losing a bit of time. It'll be interesting to see when and where he will catch up Greg and try to make moves happen again. Greg, though, doing his absolute best to get by Alexander Sabo, who is trying his very best to defend against Greg, trying to ignore him. It goes a bit wide. 100%, that has to be a track cut, or at least a warning. Nonetheless, We have Albert again with a white flag up in the very top. Either forced to slow down or being held up by Daniel Hirsch. Albert, though, potentially turning on the boost, going to be getting right by him. Daniel squeezing him out as much as possible into turn 2. Daniel hard, both drivers hard on the brakes. Albert Tranchisi able to snag P1. Brilliant move by him. Daniel Hirsch forced to stay right behind him. Not giving up the position, though. He is less than 2/10 right behind Albert Tranchisi, our current Season 5 champion, defending against anybody else in Season 6 right now. And doing a mighty fine job at that. Kyle Hirsch is doing his absolute best to get next to Joshua Worley. As Brad Tarno has an incident of his own, he's off in the third. We can check the cameras real quick and see exactly what happened here. There we go. I thought we had a momentary glitch or just something bad happened. Oh, he just wiped out extremely bad. He just lost the... I had an overseer and try to recorrect and just completely wiped out. Good to note that no damage was taken or nothing happened from that incident besides losing a bunch of positions. So recoverable 100% as we're back onto Kyle Hirsch and Joshua Worley. Joshua Worley doing his absolute best to defend against Kyle Hirsch, who is like a shark, biding his time, waiting for the opportune moment to overtake. And he tries to make a move happen in turn 2, hard on the brakes. Daniel Hirsch saw that coming and cut him off the very last second. Kyle Hirsch forced to back off. Brilliant move by Joshua Worley. I feel like I'm saying names wrong. Did I say Daniel Hirsch? I'm not. Forgive me, ladies and gentlemen. I have my IEMs, my in-ear monitors, and it pretty much blocks out all the noise. I don't know exactly if I'm actually screaming at you or talking sufficiently loud enough. Regardless, though, Albert Tranchisi still in P1, doing a fantastic job in pretty much running away from Daniel Hirsch. Daniel Hirsch, at this point, moving forward, losing ground on Albert Tranchisi. It is good to note that, to the best of my knowledge, I thought this was going to be an hour-long event, but it's a dual sprint, 30 minutes. I need to read up on my calendars and get my dates correct, as Albert puts up the fastest lap of the race, currently at a 142.302, roughly 2/10 faster than Daniel Hirsch's time, as Joshua Worley is we just missed an overtaking opportunity between Joshua Worley and Kyle Hirsch. I was going to go back on the replay, but this fight is still ensuing. Daniel Hirsch, though, went slightly... Both drivers going wide, fighting tooth and nail for this P3 spot, this podium spot right here. Joshua Worley doing his absolute best to stay right next to Kyle Hirsch. Kyle Hirsch doing his absolute best to ignore and not let Joshua Worley get the best of him, put the pressure on him, and force him to make a mistake. Brilliant move Unfortunately, we missed it, but don't you worry, ladies and gentlemen. In the race recap, we will see what happened and how that happened. Well, I will capture all these juicy moments, and they will be shown. As we have another driver into the pits, as oh my, Joshua Worley having almost a dive bomb of the century here. Almost had a code brown. He must he might have to pull into the pits and and make sure everything's all good. Change his underwear or something. Nonetheless, since this is a dual sprint, it's good to know pit stops are not required. They are not required. What is also not allowed, 100% not allowed, is refueling. Refueling is not permitted in dual sprints. We had a rule change from last season. So you can pit if you'd like. That is allowed. You can take tires if you so choose, for whatever reason. I don't see how anyone would want to take tires in a dual sprint event. But that is an option. But refueling is not allowed. As Anthony has a bit of an issue. Brad potentially trying to make an overtake. We will go back and review what exactly happened. He had a yellow flag under his name. Oh, sorry, Anthony Lombardo. Forgot there were two. And we couldn't go back far enough. I'm not quite sure what exactly happened. Maybe he just lost his fronts and couldn't had an oversteer issue there. Lift off oversteer, as a Porsche tends to happen. As he's off on the dirt again as we go back onto the live view. We'll go back and review the footage. What ended up happening here? And we're currently viewing the replay. Oh, just took the wrong line or held the wrong line. Very unfortunate. That allowed who was that? I believe that was Brad Turner and Anthony Muno to get by him. He does have a little bit of damage, but not enough to warrant a pit for air damage or whatnot. Chris Unfair trying to make moves happen on Jeff Kelly. The battle continues from Bathurst. These two are going at it tooth and nail, not giving each other an inch, breathing on each other's neck. Chris Unfair coming right next to Jeff Kelly, getting very, 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 very close. As Victor Sabo has a yellow flag of his own. Off on, I believe that is turn 7. Seeing as we're going to be entering the replay and reviewing, I'm assuming he had a huge oversteer issue. Probably lost his rear, tried to overcorrect, and ended up being totally wrong. It just ended up going a lot wide. Hitting the grass, which then caused him to lose traction. Sick ass U-turn though, right there, a little J-turn. That's showing. As Chris Unfair tries to make moves happen, will he succeed in turn 2 or in the upcoming turns? He is 2/10 right behind Jeff Kelly, trying to intimidate Jeff Kelly into making a mistake happen. Jeff Kelly though not being intimidated by that Mercedes. By Chris Unfair. Alexander Sabo though is using every bit of opportunity. If these two, if as these two continue fighting, he's getting closer and closer and closer. Greg Landry and not too far apart. If the battle between Jeff and Chris Unfair happens, it'll turn into a three-way with Alexander Savo, and eventually Greg Landry can join on that fun event. That's Dr. Squatch over here. Joshua Worley. Smells like a champion. At least it would have been. If he pushes a tiny bit harder, get up on Kyle Hirsch. Don't let him get away. You're not too far from him. He'll crack under pressure. Don't believe me. I'm not making any streamers curses happen live. We're going back to Chris Unfair, who is trying to make moves happen. He is less than half a second behind Jeff Kelly. He's pretty much matching his pace almost identically. Jeff Kelly does have the faster lap, the faster pace. Personal best sitting at a 144.102. Chris Unfair sitting at a 144.735 as he touches the gravel there, just a tad bit, the sand, just a tad bit. Losing just a tad bit of time now. Less than a second behind Jeff Kelly. Jeff Kelly doing an amazing job trying to defend. There is something up with the. Give me a moment, ladies and gentlemen, as I figure out what camera angles are what for Jeff Kelly, because they are all not what they're supposed to be. Please excuse my quick jumping from camera angle to camera angle. So yeah, I don't there's something wrong with the software, with the coding or whatnot, as Chris Unfair is starting to drift back, losing ground against Jeff Kelly. Jeff Kelly's putting consistent pace. In fact, Jeff Kelly getting faster. We love to see it. Current personal best sitting at a 143.757. We love to see it. He's improving as the race goes on, with 8 minutes left on the track, in the race. Will Chris Unfair have what it takes to catch that Mustang? As he has a mistake right there, that's gonna eat up a bunch of times. He's got to be feeling the potential tire wear, since it's a 30-minute race, basically essentially a sprint race. Use your tires as much as possible, waste them to get as much traction as possible. As he's reducing his time, went from 2 to 1.8, which is 3/10. Not too bad. The guy who smells like a champion, Joshua Worley, though, he is improving his lap times. Current personal best sitting at a 142.950. Kyle Hirsch right in front of him. He's sitting at a 142.652, so 3/10 off his pace, roughly 3/10. Is Joshua Worley of Kyle. He is closing the gap, though. If you do recall, he was sitting at a 1.5 seconds. Now he's hovering around the second mark. As Alexander Sabo has an issue of his own. Has a white flag under his name. Slowing down for some unknown reason. He is catching Chris Unfair, though. The battle for P7 is appearing to be long gone as Jeff Kelly is running away. Chris Unfair is going to have to defend against Alexander Sabo. Chris Unfair he's just making too many mistakes. He's staying on the inside, going on the defense. Alexander Sabo trying to go on the offense, goes on the outside. Doesn't make the move happen. But it's still fairly close to Chris Unfair, putting the pressure as much as possible. As Justin Fry has a slight issue, we will go ahead and review this as we have a little bit of time. There we go. So many cars out on the field. The replay is going a little bit haywire. What happened? He just wiped out. Probably tried braking while turning at the same time. Not respecting the amount of grip that he has on his tread. The battle for P8 though is going to be heating up. The kettle is getting hot. Someone lit a fire up on Alexander Sabo's car. As he gets closer and closer to Chris Unfair. Still hovering around the second mark. Chris probably having a very decent lap right now. Trying not to get the best of trying not to let Alexander Sabo upset or distract him too much from keeping that position, keeping P8. This and Jacob Myers is currently the closest battles on track. As we are now watching Jacob Meyer, the two BMWs fighting against each other. Jacob Meyer and Justin Fry. As Jacob Meyer tries to go on the inside, Justin Fry on the outside of turn 7. You can't even negate the pull factor of the BMW because they are identical. Who is going to be the better driver out of these two? As Jacob Meyer takes the inside, they're getting very close. That looked like almost contact was made. If contact was made, who knows? As who goes by him? But Albert Tranchisi, who is driving extremely fast, pretty much manages to blow by and get by Jacob Meyer. Justin Fry having a blue flag, going to let Albert Tranchisi by. Unfortunate for Jacob Meyer getting into that small little incident. Probably you guys got spooked out of getting extremely close to Justin Fry. Had a good little battle, a good little session right there that we'd love to see. As Albert continues to dominate season 6, we need to just put like 100 more kilograms of ballast onto this guy's car. He's just getting faster and faster. And faster. And faster. As Alexander Sabo tries to make moves happen, he's 3/10 off Chris Unfair. He's entering, they are both entering the straight section, the front straight. This is Alexander Sabo's opportunity, using the slipstream Get the slipstream, get the pull from the BMW out. Couldn't necessarily make the moves happen. Joshua Worley has a white flag under his name, indicating that he has slowed down quite a bit. Unsure what happened. He just managed to pass by that corner where Alexander Sabo is currently, and Chris Unfair. Might have just went a little bit wide, having the track marshals mark him as having a slowdown incident of some sort. Nonetheless, Alexander Sabo is still trying to catch Chris Unfair. Chris Unfair not letting any opportune moment make its way out. He takes the main line as he's as Alexander Sabo is 8/10 off him. So race leader is now, as you probably heard, he's entering the final lap. Kelly's for the win. That's right, John. Well, we'll check him out right here. God damn it. I can't get the right view. Anyway, you're doing a fantastic job defended against Chris Unfair. Secured what is right now P7. Alexander Sabo, as you'll see right behind, he was 2/10. Chris Unfair, was that a dive bomb incident? I'm not quite sure. As he is now drastically, he's a lot behind. He's losing ground on Chris Unfair. This might be it. I don't want to jinx it, knock on wood. But if barring no other issues, what you see on the screen is what is going to what every driver is going to finish in. Albert Guinea is trying to make moves happen in the last final corners of Zach Manriquez. Albert Tranchisi won the race, but I do not want to switch from these two as this is getting intense. And that is it. That was the final corner. Zach Manriquez snags P5. Albert Guinea forced to take P6. Not a bad though. Very good placement. I'd love to see it as well. We'll jump back to Alexander Sabo as he couldn't make anything happen. He ends up taking P9. Chris Unfair P8. Albert Tranchisi, congratulations once again. Taking P1. The Mustang is too fast for the cam, John says. Over here on Twitch channel or Twitch chat. If you're here watching live, say hello. Interact. If you're here on YouTube, say hello. Well, I'll probably end up watching it as well. I'll interact. Mustang is too... I just got him. Mustang is too fast for the cam. Anyway. Not fast enough. He's currently staying still, even though my camera placement can't grab him perfectly. As he look at him, he's just cool, calm, and collected. He is laser focused for race 2. He wants to get that win. I can see it. It's, yep. So that's race 1, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to make sure the every audio and everything is nice and dandy. I guess I could turn up the music over here while we wait. Not sure how quite loud this is. Hopefully that's decent enough where you can actually hear the tunes. While I have you here and while we wait, I can continue the 5FI League history, brought to you by, I believe, Will Stewart, our founder, who pulled this data and gave it to me and a few others. Just allowed me, gives me an opportunity to share some brief history on the league with you guys. Most pole positions. Guess who? He is currently on the field. His name starts with a K. Has a last name starting with a B. He has 3 pole positions, most pole positions. It is Kyle Busch. The quali lap record, which most likely was smashed today, was by Kyle Busch. He was at a 142.805, blazingly fast. I think my fastest quali in this track was blazingly slow. It was probably at a 144, low 144. He pulled that off in the AMR V8 Vantage in Founders League Season 1. This is when he pulled that off. The most career podiums is held by Kyle Busch. He has 3. And he also has... Oh, forgive me. He doesn't have the race lap record. That goes to Max Power in the Mercedes AMG GT3. He did this in the Founders League Season 5. He actually beat his quali lap record, but set this record in the race. It was a 142.570. As our drivers are currently out on the field for quali number 2. While we watch this and I changed some data, some deltas to personal best, so you can actually see who puts out the fastest lap time. We'll allow the music to keep playing and enjoy your time here. So, my predictions. I think now that the race jitters are gone, I do believe Daniel Hirsch and Kyle Hirsch are going to try extremely hard to prevent Albert Tranchisi from securing a 4th win. I also think that this man right here, Jeff Kelly, is currently in the pits because he can't be out on the track because of the pit qualifying rule. And yada yada yada. I do believe he is going to improve and he's going to be within the top 5. This is my predictions. He was getting faster and more consistent, throughout the race. As Daniel Hirsch goes off track for some unknown reason, goes back on track. Unsure of what to make of that. We have a new driver, Sam Staples, on the field. Yo, what is up in the McDonald's livery? Yo, speaking of McDonald's, this is so off topic, but I really want to try that McCrispy. Either the regular or the spicy one. I have a feeling they're trying to compete against Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A and all the other restaurants who are trying to have the best chicken sandwich out there. But I want to try it. Because I used to go and when I was a little kid, a fat ass, I would go to McDonald's and I would get him a chicken and I would down that thing. Anyways, off topic. We have a personal fastest lap by Albert Tranchesi, currently at a 142.020. Last lap. Last lap. A bunch of our drivers are as I unintentionally select the wrong or click the wrong driver. Bunch of our drivers, as I was saying, are starting to put out good laps. We're putting it out decent laps out. We have Joshua Worley in P2 right now with a 143.282. Alexander Sabo, P3 with a 144.052. Right behind him, Sam Staples with a 144.550. Greg Landry with a 144.572. He is 200th off Sam Staples, which is insanely close. As Albert puts up, oh, well, he's up on the dirt now, but he puts off an amazing lap at a 141.462. This guy right here, he's just. We need to inspect what's under that hood. No. What is he running? How is he doing this? What are his secrets? Why can't I get faster? These are all answers or questions that I need answers to. As we have 13 minutes, but 3 minutes left for our current drivers who are out on the field to finish or complete or just put up a quali. Because after these 3 minutes are up, they are forced to exit the track and allow our second group of qualifiers to go out and set their laps. So today we're at Imola. If you just joined us, welcome. My name is Juan. We're in season 6 of the Founders League. And a bit of history since we're here while we watch Kyle Hirsch go round and round as he passes. I'm not sure who that was off on the road, off on the dirt. Autodromo Internazionale Enzo e Dino Ferrari. The racetrack is a racetrack near the Italian town of Imola, 40 kilometers east of. I'm going to butcher this so bad. Why is English so hard? Bologna? Why does it sound like Bologna? 40 kilometers east of that town. The circuit is named after the Ferrari's late founder Enzo Ferrari and his son Alfredo Ferrari, who died in 1956 at the age of 24. Very young, sad. But the circuit features up and downhill sections mixed with high-speed corners, and it represents one of the most ambitious places to drive at, which I probably concur. I would love to drive at Imola. It wouldn't be my favorite track. I would probably check out the Green Hell with Alan Arvalo. Nürburgring. That's on my bucket list. Probably gonna take my helmet and ride motorcycles over there, or if I can ship out my bike, I'll do it. But you know, renting and driving an M3 out on a track, or a Porsche GT3 RS, that's not a bad thing if I do say so. Anyways, it was a venue for the San Marino Grand Prix, believe it or not. For many years, 2 Grand Prix were held in Italy every year, so the race held at Imola was named after the nearby state. It also hosted the 1980 Italian Grand Prix. The Italian Grand Prix traditionally takes place at Autodromo Nazionale di Monza, one of my favorite tracks. It is a track where once you get your groove in and you're in a flow, you can at least for me, once I get into a flow in Monza, I go fast. In 2020, Imola was added into the GT World Challenge rounds due to the global pandemic shifting the entire calendar, and fans are hoping to see it featured in the future too. The venue returned to the Grand Prix calendar during the 2020 season. Overall length is 4,959 meters. I will do some quick math and then figure out what is that. You give me a moment. That is 3.08 miles long. Or for everyone else, it is 4.96 kilometers long. Basically 5 kilometers long. A bunch of our drivers are finally off on track. I am slightly behind. We're over here relaxing and chilling and seeing who exactly sets up the best qualifying. Right now it's currently Albert sitting at a 141.462, blazingly fast. The one man I do want to see put up a quality is Jeff Kelly. I predict he will snag P6. He will take Alexander Zabu's position. That is my prediction. He is jumping all the way to P6, as we will see right now. Prove me wrong, Jeff Kelly. Prove me wrong. Nonetheless, give me a moment while I can pull up some extra track information while we sit and wait. Enjoy the music. Enjoy the Mustang out on the track. It's a very nice car, if I do say so myself. Like, I would drive it. I don't know if I would choose it over the Lamborghini, but you know, I would drive it. So something interesting to know as I search Imola. I'm getting conflicting information. There are 22 corners, but some track maps list 19. So it's interesting to see that. What will he get? What is your lap time? P11, alright, not bad, not bad. Love to see it. 144.450. What will Victor Sabo get as he crosses the start-finish line? Gonna take P12. P12. 145.292. Nice job, nice job. Chris Unfair is probably next. He's out on a decent lap. But Zach Manriquez, he's out on an amazing lap. He's currently in P6. Doing very nice for himself. So the ideal setup, driving next season. You want you back in the grid, John said. You know what? I would love it. If I could stream and drive at the same time, I would do it, and maybe I will give it a shot. I won't be as fast though. That is 100%. Zach putting down a 142.940. What a fast lap. He's currently sitting at P5. Very nicely done. Interesting to note that Will is not out on the track for whatever reason. Unusual, I don't know what. The ideal setup for Imola is medium to high downforce and medium suspension. Take this with a grain of salt. Your setups might differ slightly or might differ greatly at all. This is the general census for Imola. You would want a medium to high downforce, medium suspension. And the key action areas would be turns 2, 5, 7, and 9, 14, 17, and 18. If we're counting 19 corners. We have the track map pulled out and right in front of me. Oh. 7, 8, 9. Where do the track corners differ? I am not entirely sure what's going on or where they differ. We're currently viewing Albert Guinea, who's currently sitting in P6. Chris Unfair right under him, sitting at P7. Jeff Kelly improved this time. He's currently sitting at a P9. He's going to be fighting Chris Unfair right now, who's who put a faster lap. Greg Landry is between them at a 143.445. Be interesting to see how they fight, how they do. Looking at this track map, and I do not want to butcher these names. Because it's in Italian, I can probably pronounce them decently, since I know a bit of Spanish. Turn 2, turn 3, variante Tamburello. Tamburello? Burello. Cosa Pirateia. I'm just listing these track names. They are all over the place. Quali is almost over. We have 1 minute left. Well, a little over a minute. Albert calls it quits. Taking a breather. Albert Ganilla, not drunk easy. So many people with the same name. We got Anthony Muno and Anthony Lombardo. You have Jeff Kelly and Jonathan Kelly sharing the last name. We got Hirsch, Daniel and Kyle Hirsch. We have Kyle Bush, and Kyle Hirsch. Oh my. As Munoz is having a bit of an off-road excursion. I'm not sure if the Ferrari likes that one bit. I'm assuming not, as he's now in the pits. Chris Unfair, though, he's still out on track. He's trying to at least make attempts to improve his lap, his personal best. Zach Manrique is doing the exact same thing. Which driver will get the better lap time? This is the final lap. Whatever a lap these two drivers get, timing wise, is it? Zach is looking like he is going to improve ever so slightly. 1/10 faster. He does improve. He sits at 142.790. Chris Unfair probably dirtied his lap for some unknown reason, and finished quali because of that. We have the track map out on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. There's a bunch of corner names that I will give my best attempt at pronouncing and maybe saying them throughout the field. No promises though, because I will be butchering if I do say them. Regardless though, this is a very fun and I guess mostly flat base track. It does have its uphills and downhills. A nice little bit of elevation change, some camber that you have to take into account. Off camber corners. It's very challenging, especially over at Akiri Mineria. I think that's what it said. Corners, I believe those are, what is it, 7, 8, 9, corners 10, 11, and 12. Those are some very tricky corners where you can expect most of our drivers to make mistakes. Right here, Ake Minerali? I'll probably butcher that. Variante Alta is the chicanes where if you have a good run, you can go ahead and try to make an overtaking opportunity happen. So we go back into the B-roll. Our drivers are currently back on track, getting their bearings in. As we almost start race 2. We have Albert Tranchisi once again, P1. Nice. Daniel Hirsch, P2. You can see him wiggling his tires right there. He's excited, I bet. Got those pre-race jitters going on. Potentially force Albert to have a hard time and not win anymore. It'll be fun to see who takes his winning streak away. Joshua Worley in P3 doing an amazing job beating out Kyle Hirsch. Kyle Hirsch last lap or last race having a little bit better consistency. Beat Joshua Worley than P4 or P3. Kyle Hirsch P4. Zach Manriquez, nicely done. He's in P5. Albert Guinea, them two are probably going to be battling it out. They were going to be battling out. At least last race, if the race went on a little bit more. He's in P6. Chris Unfair, P7. And Jeff Kelly. Jeff, damn it! Camera! Jeff Kelly, there he is. Yay, they're gonna be battling it out 100%. They got beef in Bathurst and beef in Imola for some unknown reason. Greg Landry is probably going to be mixed and involved into that as well. He was in P9. Alexander Sabo, though, he's going to not let Greg Landry get involved into that little conflict. P10, Sam Staples, the McDonald's livery, P11. Brad Tarno, P12, our former streamer. Victor Sabo, he's in P13. Jacob Meyer, I wonder if these two are going to have a little battle. He's in P14. Anthony Muno, P15. Anthony Lombardo, P16. I wonder if he has a livery or some sort that I need to grab. Justin Fry, he's in P17. And Will Stewart, P18. As our driver line up, the green flag is about to go. It is going down right at this moment. The race is on again. Albert slow off the line. Into turn 1 though, he does outbrake Daniel. A bit of a traffic jam. Our drivers are side by side going through these sets of corners. So far, no incidents going down, which is what we love to see. Did Albert get away? What happened? Where is Albert? Where did he go? Oh, they're just way out in front. Oh my. Him and Daniel are going at it so early in the race. My goodness, we're gonna keep flying by and checking out the rest of the grid as Jacob Meyer and Victor Sabo are going at it a little bit. They almost got into a little bit of a tussle, having almost a little contact there. Justin Fry and Anthony Muno bringing up the rear. And so far, no incidents occurring, which is very nice to see. Oh my! As a bunch of our drivers are abusing that corner, getting a little bit too intimate, too close to that bump, or in the chicanes. I believe we had who was that? Chris Unfair and Brad Tarno potentially, or Greg Landry. Sam Staples, one of those drivers. They got a very aggressive. His lap times are starting to be put down before I change the race gaps. We'll see everybody's personal best at the current moment. Nice. Race gaps on. As Chris Unfair goes a little bit too wide. Loses a bunch of position, and guess who's right next to him? Jeff Kelly. The fight is on. Oh, but Alexander Sabo is trying to get mixed into this. He's not gonna let these two guys fight it off alone. Zach Manriquez right in front of them, trying to run away, create some distance, because these two are getting dangerously close. My goodness. Ooh. Well, Jeff Kelly has the inside line. Chris Unfair has the outside. He will have the inside for the next series of corners if he keep up his speed or outbrake, but he doesn't. He stays right behind Jeff Kelly. Jeff Kelly doing an amazing job to maintain that position. Might have gotten a little bit of a track cut of warning right there. We have Brad Tarno who has a yellow flag. We'll switch over to him and check out what happened. Went a little bit off-road. We don't have much time to view replays at this current moment as battles are occurring. Alexander Sabo is trying to get past Chris Unfair. Slowly lowering the audio there. Daniel Hirsch, roughly 2 seconds behind less than half, one and a half seconds behind Albert Tracchese. Albert Tracchese doing his absolute best to stay ahead and remain ahead. As you see the smoke kick up there, we had another set of our drivers that are going a little bit off-road. As we're currently watching Will Stewart, who is getting very, very close to Alexander Sabo, Sam Staples, sorry. Alexander Sabo trying to make moves happen on Chris Unfair, and he manages to make the move happen, and Greg Landry trying to sneak in, follow Alexander Sabo's line. Chris Unfair not letting that happen, pretty much cuts him off, blocks him from passing by, stops the bleeding from continuing. As Jeff Kelly, just like race 1, is starting to pull away. Chris Unfair not having the best of consistent or opportune moments to stay ahead. He's very fast. He's just having trouble with these other drivers applying pressure to him. He's crumbling under the pressure, unfortunately. Still a very fast driver, though. Nonetheless, he will give anyone a run for his money. Just like Sam Staples is doing to Greg Landry. And Will Stewart is doing to Sam Staples. The battle for P10 at least is raging on. Chris Unfair going to be entangled with that pretty soon. He's not too far ahead or far away from that. As Will Stewart looks to have tried to make a move happen, bails. God. Almost loses it, maintains control. Brilliant, brilliantly done. Not to wipe out. Especially when off throttle on the Porsche. That liftoff oversteer is wicked as he goes slightly off track. That's going to cost him a bit of time. That's going to give Sam Staples a bit of breathing room. For sure is going to give Chris Unfair the breathing room that he needed. And Alexander Lambardo, I believe that was, got into contact with Chris Unfair. We'll go back the 30 seconds and review what exactly happened. As don't you worry, ladies and gentlemen, there we go. Chris Unfair still trying to be behind Alexander there. Oh, he just ends up going off on the third. Great avoidance by Greg Landry, but Chris Unfair stuck in the middle of the road. Not the best of positions to be in. And unfortunately, a racing incident did occur because of that. Hopefully not too much damage caused or not too much damage done to both drivers, as we're now back onto the live view. Will Stewart getting close to that McDonald's Beamer. He's probably wondering where his Happy Meal is. And why isn't it in his Porsche right now? As he brakes hard, very late on the brakes. It just cooked it a little bit too much there. Very good attempt regardless, though. So Anthony Muno had a little bit of an incident that he's going to try to overtake Justin Fry. This is a battle for P17. Excuse me. There we go. Cameraman. Anthony Muno trying to get the overtake happening here. He will have the inside line for this corner. He decides against it and allows Justin Fry to hold on to that position. Nonetheless, he is less than 3/10 off of Justin Fry. Oh, he could have had a brilliant run down this section. As Kristen Fair is now in P16. A heavy blow qualifying, and I believe was in P7 and now ending up in P16. Unfortunate series of events for him. You know that's gotta be extremely frustrating. I know that feeling, 100%. We'll let this battle cook. Let it reach a boiling point very, very soon. Currently, a bunch of our drivers they're starting to spread apart. Greg Landry and Zach Manriquez and Victor Sabo. We're gonna jump into his point of view right now. He's going to, or he is actively engaging Jacob Meyer. Brad Tarno also actively engaging Anthony Lombardo. Both these drivers getting extremely close to the guys up ahead, trying to make overtakes happen. So many battles to pick and not enough time, as Albert Tranchisi once again continues to put a fastest lap after lap, currently sitting at a 141.352. He is pulling away from Daniel Hirsch. Daniel Hirsch sitting at a 142.322. Where does Albert get the speed? How does he get the speed? What is his secret? Where is his NOS button? He has to have it somewhere. He put on his grip.exe file and is pretty much dominating Imola and Bathurst, as he almost makes a mistake. Oh man, that was almost a Code Brown incident if I ever saw one, as Greg Landry is trying to make moves happen against Alexander Sabo. Alexander Sabo not letting that happen so easy. There's a little bit of a train performing right behind Alexander Sabo. This is the battle for P8 now. We have Alexander Sabo P8, Greg Landry P9, Sam Staples P10, and Will Stewart P11. They're all hard on the brakes, taking weird lines. Will Stewart might have the opportunity to overtake Sam Staples, but Sam is doing everything he can to mitigate that. Will hard on the brakes, late on the brakes. The slightest of contact might have been made there, but regardless, brilliant move by Will Stewart. Managing to outbrake the BMW Sam Staples and secure the P10 spot. We'd love to see it, as Victor Sabo has an amazing run coming out of the final corner, up on Jacob Meyer. They're both hard on the brakes. Jacob Meyer slightly later on the brakes, manages to stay ahead. Victor Sabo having a bit of a hard time getting around Jacob Meyer. Both of these drivers having a very close Lap times. Victor Sabo having a slightly faster lap time. His last lap was currently a 1:45.950, and Jacob Meyer is a 1:46.265. As Chris Unfair once again has had a yellow flag, as well as Greg Landry had a yellow but turned to white. Oh, Greg Landry lost it against Will Stewart. We unfortunately missed that event though, but Will Stewart is trying his best to challenge Alexander Sabo. Greg Landry losing once again the P10 spot against to Sam Staples during the back straight. That's our Iron Lames driver in the Porsche, getting very, very close to that BMW, trying to put a bunch of pressure onto Alexander Sabo. Will he crack under pressure? I don't know. Jacob Meyer, I believe a position was just switched up on both these drivers. We do have a I do want to go back and check out the replay, but we're about to have a cluster of drivers here in turn one. What is going to go down? Brad Tarno seizes the opportunity of Kyle Hirsch exiting the pits. Not quite sure why Kyle Hirsch was in the pits in the first place, but Brad Tarno uses the opportunity to secure the position, overtakes Jacob Meyer, and is going to start putting insane amount of pressure to Victor Sabo. As we'll go back here, we see Jacob Meyer go slightly wide, and Kyle Hirsch manages to overtake Jacob Meyer. Brilliant move by Kyle Hirsch. Unfortunate for Jacob Meyer, just going a tad bit wide. The tiniest of mistakes is all that a driver needs to lose a position or to gain a position, especially if you're eager on the attack. Albert Guinea fighting against Zach Manriquez. You'll see in the background Jeff Kelly trying to get close, currently in P6. He's not too far off from Zach, roughly 4 seconds. If these two keep fighting it out, that'll be all the opportunity that Jeff needs. As Will is so close to Alexander Sabo, decides to back off in turn 2. Oh my, how close was that? My goodness. That had to be a Code Brown incident for Will Stewart. Sam Staples is trying to get into this fight, this little mix up. Oh, Will pulling all the stops, trying to get in front of Alexander Sabo. Alexander Sabo doing everything he can to mitigate the passes or the opportunities for Will to initiate those passes. Oh my, he takes the inside line. Alexander Sabo has the inside. Will is on force on the outside. He's sliding. Goes very wide. When did it happen? Oh my, so much action. I was getting tongue-tied by words. Very unfortunate for Will that he lost those positions, but he didn't lose too much overall. And what's most important, he didn't hit the wall. This means that he will keep his pace that he's been having right now to catch up back up to Alexander Sabo and Sam Staples, who are currently fighting it out. If they keep fighting it out, this will be the opportunity that not only Greg Landry needs, who's right behind, but Will Stewart will also need to catch up. Very good attempt by Will and great defending. Maybe a bit of blocking if we'll see. I don't know. That was a great driving, a great fight. We love to see it. Will was trying to pull all the stops and to get that position done. As we have Jacob Meyer in the grass, in the dirt for a bit. I don't want to go too far from this, but we can. I'm assuming he just went a little bit too wide. Well, we'll investigate this in the recap of race 2. As he's not doing too bad for himself. He's currently sitting in a P15. Jacob Myers, P15. Right behind him we have Anthony Muno, Anthony Lombardo, and Justin Fry, who look to be potentially going to be fighting for P16. At least these two are. If they continue to fight, Justin Fry will get involved into this mix-up. As Brad Tarno is getting dangerously close to Victor Sabo, who tried to make moves happen into the final corner. Not sure if he has the slipstream or the downforce to make moves happen into turn 2. He goes hard on the brakes. Almost wipes out. It looks like he was following Victor Sabo's line. Greg Landry and Sam Staples are getting involved into a mix-up over here coming out of turn 7. In turn 9, what will happen? Sam Staples lost a position to Greg Landry. Will Stewart, because of their infighting between Alexander Sabo and Sam Staples, this allowed Greg Landry and Will Stewart to catch up, and once again the battle for P7 is on. Will Stewart is looking to get the inside from Sam Staples. He gets those bumps aggressively. The first set of bumps aggressively, but Sam Staples catches the second set of bumps extra hard. Anthony Lombardo is making moves happen against Anthony Muno. Manages to secure the position from the outside. Brilliant driving. Anthony Muno tried very hard to prevent that from happening. Very nicely done. Good driving. Back to the battles with P8 though. For P7. Alexander Sabo is now starting to. Well, was starting to build a little bit of a gap, no longer an issue. Greg Landry cut that by a huge margin. Almost a second cut off from that. He's right. Oh, what happened to the drivers behind? Oh no. What happened to Will Stewart and Sam Staples? As Will Stewart is still on the track or on the dirt. We'll go back and investigate. Hopefully nothing happens between Greg Landry and Sam Staples. At least nothing out of the camera, as well as Victor Sabo. What happened here? Currently viewing the replay. Hard on the brakes. Oh, that is just horrible. You gotta a moment of silence for Will Stewart, please. Ooh. That's gut wrenching. Sam Staples approached Will too aggressively. He came in too hot, and just ended up he couldn't brake in time and ended up clipping Will and took Will out. Almost took himself off as well. As he is now 6 seconds away from the battle for P7 with Greg Landry and Alexander Sabo, but Greg Landry makes the overtake stick, and he holds onto the position. Very nicely done. Kyle Hirsch is trying to make moves happen on Brad Tarno. Brad Tarno currently on the inside. Kyle Hirsch, was that a touch? Oh no, Brad Tarno out on the grass. So is Victor Sabo out on the grass a bit. Kyle Hirsch not able to capitalize on the mistake that Brad Tarno did. Nonetheless, Brad Tarno is doing everything he can, going on the defensive, trying to ignore Kyle Hirsch as much as possible. At this point, it might be best to, at least for Brad, to keep his head down and just let Kyle Hirsch try to do whatever he wants. Try to take the inside like here and just not do that. I was gonna say and try to what's the word? Have a switchback moment happen where Kyle takes the position momentarily mid corner or beginning of the corner, but mid corner to mid exit corner. Brad Tarno does a switchback and reclaims the spot, but turns out Brad ended up outbraking himself just a tad bit, unfortunately. So we'll stick with these two, as Brad Tarno is going to have to contend with Victor Sabo in the Mercedes. We also have a few of our other drivers. Zach Manriquez approaching Albert Guinea. Albert Tranchisi still at the very, very top. We'll check in on him momentarily. See how he's doing. Pretty much the top guys are starting to get spread apart. They're ever so slowly securing their position, especially with 4 minutes left into the race. My, how time flies. I did not realize how much time has passed with so much action happening. Jacob Meyer is very, very close to Anthony Muno. The battle for P15 is on, and Jacob Meyer lost the P15 spot, if I do recall. He is he's doing everything he can to actually stay very, very close to Anthony Muno, sorry. Almost roughly half a second behind Anthony Muno, doing a fantastic job to keep on him, applying an intense amount of pressure. That was most likely a track cut warning right there. Or if not, then my goodness, these track limits are lenient. Nonetheless, we're gonna let this battle simmer down as we'll check in on our race leader, Albert Tranchisi, who's coming up on lap traffic. Oh wow. Wow. I thought he was somewhere else on track, not literally right behind Jacob Meyer. Well, Jacob Meyer and Anthony Muno are going to have blue flags waved at them very, very soon. Hopefully they allow Albert Tranchisi to get by without much impact to both their times. Albert on the inside of that corner. Jacob on the outside, almost has a bit of oversteer coming out of that. Next up is Anthony Muno and Anthony Lombardo. Hopefully Oh, he just quickly lets him by. Might not have been the best of moves as Jacob Meyer is closing in on him very quickly after that. He goes slightly wide. Coming out of, I believe that was turn 11, turn 12. Into the chicanes. Anthony Lombardo next up on that is having the blue flag waved on him. Does slow down enough for Albert Tranchisi to go by him. Greg Landry though has a white flag, had a yellow flag under his name. Not sure why, but the battle for P5 is raging on as I just missed it. We will review this. Zach Manriquez managed to overtake Albert Guinea. When did this happen? How did this happen? So Albert didn't have the best of exits out of there at all. Managed to ride the grass a bit too much, and Zach manages to seize the opportunity and get right by him as we are now back into the live view. Albert Tranchisi, our race leader, is on the final lap. This is the last lap for all of our drivers. As Justin Fry has a yellow flag. Turn 6. That's where he probably went a little, probably lost it and had a little bit of oversteer. Like a bunch of our other drivers. Jacob Myers actively getting close, as well as Greg Landry. Two battles that I just don't know which to pick on. We have the battle for P15 and the battle for P7. We're just gonna switch between both these drivers and see who manages to overtake who at what time. This is the final lap for Greg Landry. Jacob Meyer and Anthony Muno have one more lap to run around in, I believe. Sam Staples is getting very, very close. This battle is going to come down to the wire, as now that I recall, Alexander Sabo overtook Greg Landry. Congratulations to Albert. You're a winner. But we have a battle here, more important. It looks like Sam Staples is dropping off ever so slightly, potentially. Greg Landry, though, pushing very hard against Alexander Sabo. He doesn't have many opportunities. He has to get closer to make a move happen. He needs to stay within 0.3 of a second in these next final corners. And he's not gonna be able to cut it, unfortunately. Same thing for Albert and Neo. Oh, they finished the race. Okay, ignore that. As Sam Staples goes a little bit off road. Nicely done, Alexander Sabo. Hard fought with Greg Landry. Good job securing the P7 position. Good job, Greg Landry, fighting for that spot. You secured P8. We'll jump back to Jacob Meyer, who, oh no, unfortunately has a big mistake. Or finish the lap? Who's left to Victor Savo and Chris Unfair? Oh, I guess Jacob Meyer was on his final lap. Unknown to me. That flew right over my head. Well, sorry, I was reading the Twitch. Thank you for sticking by. That concludes our race. Other 2 races for the day. Congratulations to Albert Tranchisi, who, let's see if he's still out on the field. He is. Congrats to this guy right here. He's on a 4-win streak right now. Greg Landry says awesome battles. Zach Manriquez right now says good race. Greg Landry says great driving. 100%. A good amazing display by Daniel Hirsch, our season 5 wet weather winner over at Imola, who got P2. Joshua Worley in race 2 got P3. Wait. Yeah, P3, sorry. P3. Zach Manriquez managed to overtake Albert Ganilla and claim P4. Albert Ganilla P5. Jeff Kelly doing an amazing job and showcasing that Ford. He manages to snag P6. Alexander Sabo. Hard fought with Greg Landry. Got P7, P8 for Greg. Overall, lots of fun battles. Visual Anthony over here says, GG boys, 100%. Good race. Thank you for sticking by with the stream, and I hope you guys had a fantastic job, or I mean, fantastic job. Well, if you were driving, I hope you had a fantastic job driving around. Fantastic day, you know, fantastic night. Hopefully, the race continues next week. Before I leave, I guess it would be very good to go ahead and have a little bit of housekeeping. This is the 5FIRacing.com website. That's 5, the number 5, FIRacing.com. If you'd like to join us for the races, you'll go ahead and click on SimGrid. We're going to momentarily skip over that though. Join us on Discord. Follow us on Twitch or subscribe. I do the same thing over on YouTube. I would love you for it. Follow us on IG, on Instagram right here. We're posting content there a lot more frequently now. And quality and production is on the up and up. And check out our posts on Reddit every once in a while. But nonetheless, we're gonna go on to SimGrid. If you'd like to join us for season 6, you'll go here. If you'd like to join me and race me and a few other drivers in the GT4s, you'll click this link. A little bit of shameless plug over here. We have Albert Tranchisi hosting or streaming, being the host. Hosting the streams for the GT4s. As you can see here, it says manage registration. So it's the same thing. If you were going to join the GT3s, you would click there, here registration, choose your car, choose your number and everything. So we are actively involved in this. Nonetheless though, season 6, race 3 is going to be at Watkins Glen. It's going to be a dual sprint. I hope it continues to remain a good showing. 100% love to see those. Anyways, I've been taking too much of your time. I hope y'all have a fantastic day. And I guess I'll see you guys next week over at Watkins Glen in a dual sprint. Who will be the next driver to stop Albert Tranchese's win streak. There is a bounty on his head now. I will put $1 up. The driver, legally, I do not want anyone to just take him out. Okay. Okay. Let's see who can end his win streak. Stop a clean sweep from happening. Anyways, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll see you guys next time. I'll be doing some edits off to the side and improving the stream. Oh! Since we're here before we leave, there's going to be a little event, a little secret meetup tomorrow. If you join Discord, you can find out about it. A little test server that you can probably join. I might, just might be in it, or like be in it to race, or I'll go ahead and stream it just for a tad bit, just a couple moments. I don't know. Surprise little stream there. Join us on Discord and find out. See what ends up happening. Alright. Took too much of your time now. Have a good night. Have a good day. Have a good rest of your evening. See you guys.
This is my life. This is my life.